Welcome to Tech at the Low Libraries. I'm Heidi, and today we have the intersection, once again, of science and art, or craft. Whichever way we want to put it. It's a simple craft / science, and we're using chromatography. Chromatography, very Latin sounding, isn't it? It just means separating pigments by their weight, by the way they move up a medium. Chromatography is used in blood testing, drug testing. You know, you've probably seen a little slip of paper. They put it in a solution, and things start moving up, and that's how they separate compounds in a blood sample or a urine sample. So basically, what you have is a stationary phase. Today, tap water. And then we're going to create the mobile phase with now washable markers. Since we're using water as a stationary phase, you need to use a non-permanent marker. If you would like to experiment with this yourself after this with maybe rubbing alcohol, you could use a permanent marker. The results aren't quite as spectacular, but it works pretty well. So washable markers and water. And our secret ingredient, the stationary phase. Woo. Coffee filters. Now these are commercial size coffee filters, not your, a little bigger than the ones you're going to use at home. And I like this size for crafts because it gives you a little more leeway in what you can do with it. And I'll show you what we can do with it in just a minute. But first, let's get this going. Now, I'm using some other coffee filters so the marker doesn't bleed onto the table. First, we start with my favorite, black. You think, that looks black. Well, you're going to find out how many colors they have to use to create a black marker. Now, all you have to do, is draw a nice large circle in the middle of the coffee filter. We're going to do about maybe a little larger than that. The more surface you cover, the more pigments you're going to see fly up this filter. Oh yeah, it's pretty simple. And you can use all kinds of different colors at the same time on your coffee filter. Draw all kinds of designs. Stars, and you're going to use purple and red and yellow, put them all in there. They're all going to separate in different ways. But we're just going to stick to the basics right here for a minute. So there's my big dot. Then we just kind of fold it up a little. I think I need a little more. Look, because you can see some gaps there. And again, more saturated you make your dot, more color you get out of it. All right. Just kind of doesn't have to be pretty. You can fold it. Depends on how particular you are. I know some people are more particular than others. I like it just so you have the dot here at the very bottom. It kind of looks like a badminton shuttlecock, doesn't it? Then we're going to put it in the stationary phase, the water. Just the tip of it. That's why you need something with a kind of a narrow mouth that coffee filter will sit right in. Ooh. And then we're just going to let that do its magic and see what happens. Now we're going to use some other colors too. Purple and the red are kind of disappointing. So really, your best bet is usually black. The brand, which is what I used for her, and I used brown. Brown makes great colors. I should have used her. But I want you, it's an experiment. It's science. You don't know. All right. Let's take her out. Ooh, here we go. Wow, some great colors in there. Like I said, lots of blue. But look, we also have a little rust, a little orange, a little reddish brown, and then And you still have a little bit of black in the middle. So we're just going to take it, lay it down on a towel, and it'll take about 2 hours to dry. Spread it out a little bit so it's not so wrinkled. That works great too. Kind of fun. All right. Purple looks purple. Well, this is why we experiment. Still going to be pretty. Ooh. And it has a little tie-dyed look to it, so I'm not complaining about that. Look. Oh, yeah, pretty. Wow. Yeah, there's a little pink in there, you can see. A little fuchsia. Lay that down on a towel to dry. I'll spread it out. And this one, yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I'll admit it. But the red is actually pretty. Stop dripping. There you go. I wouldn't do red again. Yuck. But since I'm doing a 3-layer dancer, she could go in the middle and no one will be the wiser. Just add body. And when it dries, it'll still be more vibrant, so it's not a total loss there. All right. Just clean up a little. And we're going to let this dry. Like again, you might want to let them sit for at least 2 hours, probably. Alrighty. In case you couldn't tell, Presto Changeo is a little different day. We let our coffee filters dry overnight. Now, we're going to assemble our dancer. Pretty simple. Look how our black came out. Pretty cool. That's going to be my top layer. Purple, just purple. There's a little bit of pink in there. So I'm just going to put that in the middle for a little body, extra fluff. And then, I didn't show you brown, but look what brown does. And with this, the middle, I put a brown marker. And then I put some black dots around it. So you can do all kinds of markings on each coffee filter. So you got this nice two-tone look. And you're going to be stacking them like this. But first, we have to cut a hole in the middle of them for the head. Ooh, 2 pipe cleaners. That's going to be our dancer. Now, I wanted to show you how the red came out. You know why the red came out so dull? It's a primary color. They don't have to really combine a lot of colors to make a primary color, do they? Now the green had some nice yellow, but that was too small for me, so I'm not going to use that one. So, experiment with your colors. Have some fun. You can guess what colors you're going to get out of it. So now, to create just a tiny hole in the middle of the coffee filter for the dancer's head, we just fold it. Fold it in half. Fold that in half again. Do a little creasing if you want. Fold that in half again. Let's do a couple more. Fold that in half again. It doesn't have to be a very big hole at the top. It's a pipe cleaner. Skinny neck. And then, hold it here. I'm going to do one more. Just because. I think I only did it to this point when on this one, and I think the hole was a little too big. You can always make it bigger, but you can't, of course. Make it smaller. All right. There's your coffee filter. Fold it up. Take just the tip off of there. Bink. Don't hit yourself in the eye or anybody else. And there you have your hole in the middle. And now we're going to do the other 2. Alrighty, now we got 3 layers. We have my bottom, my middle, my top. I don't want this much white to show at the bottom. I'm going to make her, I like petticoats, but I don't think we need that much. So let's trim it up. The joy of it. So again, now, we used water as the stationary phase and non-permanent markers as the mobile phase. use a Sharpie, you're not going to get a whole lot of separation of these elements. This doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of, it's a dancer skirt, you know, it's going to show. Ooh, there you go. So I just trimmed down some white. Okay, there's her trimmed up. Now you can make the bottom one a little bit bigger than the top one if you want. You can make them all the same size. Is your preferences again, because I'm sure you're going to make more than one of these. So every little dancer is going to be different. So we're going to line up the holes as best we can. Now we're going to make our dancer. I just like a little flesh color pipe cleaner here just for her head. Why not? Pinch a little. She's going to be your head right here. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Then just take one side and wrap it around. There, just once. There's her head. Looks like a wishbone, doesn't it? Then we're going to make her feet. Because every dancer needs a good foot. Just bend it up a little at the end. Feet. La, la, la. Arms. I like that. I like this fuchsia chenille right here. Arms. You know, you can position them any way you want. But let's wrap her around once, twice. Ooh, that's pretty long there. About 4 times. Yeah, maybe 5. But how long you want her arms to be. We just take this side, wrap it around. There you go. I think now if you start with your pipe cleaner uneven, you might end up with one arm longer than the other. But you just wrap it again. There you go. And there's your tiny dancer. All right. You can pinch the head together. Loosen it back up afterwards. And we'll pass it through that hole we cut in the middle of each coffee filter. Oh, wait. Forgot. Oh, forgot the important part. She's got to have room for her arms. Scissors. And on either side of this middle hole, just cut just a tiny little slit. And we'll stick the pipe cleaner arms up through that slit. So, like so. So just 2 little slits right there. You can't even see them. But pretty important because you got to get her arms through there, like putting on your coat. Slip an arm through this one. Ooh, yep. Slip her head through the middle. Slip an arm through the other slit you put in there. Dressing a little kid, isn't it? Don't make me come over there. All right. Oh, look. She's got her first layer on. Then we're going to, oh, you guessed it, fast forward as we cut the slits in each one of these. Okay, there's our dancer. She is dressed, partly. Pull it down, arrange it, whichever way you want. Now you can position her arms, first position, second position. Jazz hands, do whatever you want. Just pull it down, and there she is dressed. Now, you say to yourself, that's a pretty cool dancer. I can do more. I like this, looks more like the front. So you could take a pretty piece of ribbon or anything. You can tie it around her waist. And then let the skirt flare out underneath. You can leave her loosey-goosey like we did with this one. You know, you have options. So we're just going to let her flow. And because as I said, we have metal glitter we don't love around here. I use Mod Podge. You can use watered down glue, whatever you prefer. I just happen to have Mod Podge here. We're not going to paint it now because, hey, you've seen the finished product, and we'd have to wait a lot longer to finish her up. So Mod Podge works. Watered down glue, paintbrush, paint on that outer layer, and put her on a paper plate or a reject coffee filter, and let the glitter fly. Let it fly, and let it dry. So let it fly, let it dry, and you'll have a dancer. Oh, I kind of like her with the little waist nipped in there. So there's your dancer. Here's your glittery dancer. They're fun. It would be great for a birthday party. Just have decorations or quinceanera. It'd be kind of fun. And you can get a kit to make these. That's right. We have kits available. We have 5 kits available. More if there's a huge demand. Because once you start making these little cuties, it's hard to stop. All right. So in the kit, you're going to get probably 5 coffee filters, maybe 6. Something you can experiment with. You will have to provide your own markers. I'm sure you have some lying around. Don't we all? Especially after this long quarantine. We got lots of art supplies lying around. So we will provide you with the coffee filters. And these are commercial size, so you can leave them. You can have big dancers. You can trim them down to whatever you want. We will provide, the glitter, the flakes, and the pipe cleaners. So pipe cleaners to make 2 dancers. What the heck? Yeah. And then all you have to bring to the table is scissors and whatever glue medium you want to use, and paintbrush. We will have these kits available here at Tech and Lowell, and we hope you pick them up. Hope you enjoy making your dancers. Hope you can post them or in the comments or email them or something to us. We'd like to see or tag us, Tech at Lowell. We have a Facebook page, Tech at Lowell. You could tag us if you post your dancers on your Facebook page. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah. Okay. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with more